Okay, so some of you are learning financial astrology for the first time. You know that the most difficult part of it, well, there's a lot of difficult parts in it. That's why not that many people do it. But one of the most difficult things is trying to find the correct date, the first trade date of a particular stock. And the reason being, the first trade date, natal date, um, we use that to give us certain information to find out what stars or what planets aspects are going to influence this particular stock. Others use it to find out if their first trade date was a full moon or a new moon, um, and they need that particular information. So I'm going to show you exactly how to find the first trade date, and this will make your job a lot easier. So we're going to finviz.com. I'm going to hit the screener, and we're going to do all. Now having this information, and there it is right there. It has IPO date or first trade date. Now you can go back, let's just say within the last year. So it just gave me all the stocks that had a IPO within the last year. Now, of course, all this information is not, I'm not going to be using this because some of it, the volume, I mean, I'm not going to really waste my time on a stock that only sells 22,000 shares per day. So let me screen it just a little bit more. I am going to go with, and also since we are speculators, we're going to want to make sure that the stock is optional. So just by doing that, we ended up having just a couple of sheets here. And lastly, I was going to put USA stocks. And I'm going to just do 300 as my volume. So I have nine candidates that I can look at. So what happens, I set this up in finviz. They allow you in your custom, which is your custom tab, you can place anything you want on here. So in my custom tab for this demonstration, I have the sector, industry, the country, of course, market cap, P, but the main things I have is the volatility, average true range, volatility, weekly, monthly, and I like to trade earnings, so I have all the earnings, knowing what's coming up in earnings. Actually, this one was today. Okay, and then here it is, the IPO date. So you got all the IPO dates. Now, how does this help you? This, because you're kind of getting the stocks that are, you know, within the last year they haven't proven themselves, and so you might want to do it a different way, but let me pause there. When I say that they haven't proven themselves, so this is where astrology comes in. So now you can actually, once you have the IPO date, you can use this information and then do a natal chart on this and to see if this is a stock that's going to be very um, profitable within the years to come. And we'll get into that in the video too. But so we have that. But the best thing to do if you're just learning and you're trying to basically get your feet wet and learning all about this, I would remove this. That's what we're going to do. Um, and what I'm going to do is just really quick, I'm going to go to NASDAQ. So basically what I just ended up doing, there's a lot of pages here, but I have all the companies in NASDAQ that follow this criteria, but I have their IPO date. So I can go all the way back to Goodyear, um, Texas Instruments, Intel. And the good thing about this is that you can go to, let's just say Intel, we know what kind of company Intel is. We know what Apple did, we know what AMD, so there's a lot of companies in here, so you can kind of pick and choose some of the companies that did terrible and some that did great. So I can go here to Intel and say, okay, if astrology is not junk science and it's something I can do, I should be able to click Intel, find its first trade date, create a chart on its first trade date, and see if its influence basically stated that this would be a money-making stock or not. So you can have a lot of stocks in here, but let me just, let's go to over 700. You're going to have, Walmart. Let's go in order, make it easier. So, you have Apple, their first trade date. Other companies started with Amgen, but hold on. Anyway, so as you can see, there's this, you can do this to go through different companies. When I first did this, I selected the Dow, stocks of the Dow, since these are the biggest companies out there. Um, market cap wise, you know, here you got Apple at $524 billion, American Express at 56 billion. So you have these huge companies here. So now I was able to go back and we can go to 1962, good year. We can go to Merck. So we can look at all these different companies and start and basically prove or disprove to ourselves that they are. So again, so this is the IPO date that you're looking at, its first trade date, and hopefully that information will help you with different steps in astrology. Okay.